Barat from U of A, GJ and Jose from Oro Valley, Sergio from Sahuarita, Greg as well from DTM, and Dion from Marana. And then from a staff side, I've got Bree, Issa, Jesse, Gabe, Shalbo, Dr. Nassi, and James Tokishi. Did I miss anyone? Okay. Looks like we are good and set. All righty. Okay, the in-kind regional planning efforts are enhanced by recording our time donated by attendees, volunteers, participants. We collect that data on time dedicated to meetings and activities to apply for use as matching funds for our grants and federal dollars. If you are paid with any of the federal dollars and can let us know now, that would be great. I don't believe anybody on this call at this time is. Time spent in preparation is going to be estimated by the staff who are knowledgeable of the agenda, meeting materials, and at the conclusion, we will generate a session report that calculates the time spent on this. Just as a general note, time spent working on PAG and RTA initiatives, programs, and projects may also be eligible for consideration. Okay. And with that, we'll jump right into the safety activities update. Gabe, I'm going to turn it loose to you. You're up first. And Dr. Nassi, if you have anything else you want to jump in and supplement with, Gabe, the floor is yours.
Great. Thanks, Rick. Can you hear me okay?
Got you loud and clear.
Perfect. I'll keep it brief. We did finish up. I was updating the group last meeting in January, doing the mission at Irvington Mini RSA with Pima County. Finished that up with Mike Hendricks. Next week, we're doing a design RSA with the city of Tucson on 22nd Street between Camino Seco and Houghton. I won't speak too much to this because it's mostly Pima County's effort, and I don't want to steal their thunder, but we have been working with them a lot on their SS4A efforts, namely to make some Safety Explorer improvements. We're excited about that. We're also working with them to update our SPFs, our safety performance functions, and in turn, our level of safety service. So if anybody has any questions on those things, please let me know. Otherwise, that's it for me.
You'd had a couple that you had done that you had reported on last time on Valencia, Saguaro National Monument, some other things. Anything special come out of those? Any follow-up from those efforts that you shared in January, or just kind of normal status quo?
I think we did wrap them up. So we submitted the final report for the Fort Lowell Road Safety Assessment. I finished providing comments to Saguaro National Park for Saguaro National Park West, their road safety assessment that was done in the fall. But otherwise, yeah, pretty standard.
Okay, fantastic. I was going to say if there's anything special that jumps in, or any best practices or anything that would be considered cutting edge or a change, or by all means, let me know. We can make sure we add this to the group so we bring notice and attention to it. So,
Right on.
okay,
Thanks, Rick.
you got it. Dr. Nassi, anything else you want to add to supplement that since you're here today?
No, sir. It sounds good.
Fantastic. Any questions for Gabe on the PAG update activities on our safety efforts? Okay, hearing none. Let's see. With that, we'll shift to the jurisdiction side. Anybody want to jump in, offer up any safety updates, activities you're working on? Lauren, if I can call you out since Gabe kind of teed it up, would you mind starting us off?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Lauren Fecto from Pima County. I can give an update on the Safe Streets for All Action Plan development. The third project steering committee meeting was held last week to discuss the continuous progress being made and to provide draft deliverables for review. We greatly appreciate the attendance and engagement by the committee members. Some of those draft deliverables include public involvement components such as the website survey, an interactive map, and also safety analysis items such as the high injury network. A window was provided for review, so we look forward to receiving feedback on that. Some of the next steps include establishing performance measures and the vision, goals, and objectives. And Gabe also mentioned and touched on a few additional active items that we have related to the Safety Explorer enhancements and SPF and LOSS updates. So we appreciate the collaboration on those items as well.
Safety Explorer. Okay, good deal. Thank you, Lauren. Any other safety activities of note that you want to share?
That's all I have.
You got it. Anybody else have anything underway? Anything special worth noting? Anything you want to share for the good of the group?
Hey, Rick, this is Greg Orsini from the city of Tucson. I'll go.
The floor is yours, my friend. Go for it.
All right. One thing we've mentioned in past updates, but we've been doing an evaluation of our left turn operations. As you know, we run permissive protected at most, and we've been doing the safety evaluation to see where we need to run protected only based on crash experience. And we have finished evaluating every single intersection in the city that has at least one approach with dual left turn lanes. And so we've implemented protected only time of day at multiple intersections. And then there is a couple handfuls of locations where we'd like to go protected only time of day, but we don't have the equipment in place yet. We still have the 5-section queue heads. And so we have projects, in the next few years to convert some of these to the flashing yellow arrow operation with the 4-section head, which would allow us to run the protected only. So that's kind of a big safety evaluation we've had going on here.
Online.
Yeah, and we've actually started evaluating some intersections with just single left turn lanes. Kind of odds and ends here, certain requests from constituents or if people in our department notice something. So we've just looked at a handful of those so far.
Okay, starting to look at. Because if I remember right, when you had rolled out the going to a protected only, it was on the priority intersections where you were seeing high accident issues or high safety concerns, and that could be either duals or single lefts, correct? So you'd kind of identified the worst of the worst. And it sounds like if I'm understanding correctly, you've now expanded that to say we've looked at all dual situations and made our judgment call, and now we're starting to branch into the singles as available. Am I summarizing that kind of the evolution correctly?
Yeah, that's a very fair summary, Rick.
Perfect. Okay. No, I think that's fantastic. And thank you for keeping us posted on all that stuff. I know that's been, kind of a nice methodical way of tackling that. And I think the education and outreach, I do remember kind of a couple of news blasts that you worked on, obviously with your PR team and everything else that, made sure folks understood that. So I think that's been, from what I can tell, at least a successful program and endeavor. So it's good to hear that's going to continue on that as well. So good
Yep,
deal.
we're continuing on. Definitely get a lot of positive feedback and get a share of negative feedback on it too. So we'll
Yeah.
take it all the feedback.
I was gonna say I'll say that on my notes, been getting a lot of feedback, good and bad.
Yep.
I guess the $1 million feedback thing is, are you seeing the accident reduction performance and safety improvements that you were hoping to see and expecting to see?
We were gonna wait
Okay.
roughly a year for to reevaluate the ones that we've converted to protected only to get a little more of a sample size to see what kind of impact it's had.
About a year to assess performance. Perfect, and thanks. Okay. Any questions for Greg? Okay, hearing or seeing none. Anybody else have any updates they want to jump in with? Okay. Let's see, make sure I'm not missing any hands. Okay, next item up was our transportation management system. This is our max view and kinetics update we typically give. And Francisco, you usually run this one, so yep, you're on. Go for it. I'm gonna let you. What would you like to share? Start us off.
All right, we uh working on a contract to extend one more year, at least with Kinetics, and then we're hearing the other jurisdictions. We might go out with we should use this whole group should go out and create a request for proposal for see what's out there if we want to change to a new flavor. Otherwise, the system is currently working fine, just not meeting some of the wants of some of the users. That's why we are thinking next year we should be looking into what's out there and see if we want to change or not. But otherwise, the system was upgraded a couple days ago to a new version, the same software, and seems to be working fine.
System software. Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to ask on this, discuss, ask any questions of Francisco? We're a quick down and dirty group today, which is okay. As a side note, nah, never mind. I'll save it to the end, Francisco, and I'll come back at my closing. Let's All right, moving on to our communications item, our signal communications efforts. Anybody got anything they want to share on this? Pass along any updates worth noting? Floor's open for this one.
No updates from Tucson.
Nothing from, okay. I'm going back a while, and just now it made me think of something. Hell, it's probably been 3 or 4 years now when a lot of the capital projects were going on. You guys were doing a lot of fiber installs to coincide with that. Are you guys still doing that within the projects or as a parallel effort? Or that was my recollection, but it could have been a while.
We're doing a conduit installation, not the fiber, since the shorting funds from the state.
So that's just done, that's included in the big capital projects when they go out the door, right?
Correct. The
Got
big
it.
so some of the projects do have the fiber funding in it, but most of the projects just have the conduit.
Got it. Okay. Thanks for that clarification. Any other communications efforts, activities, items underway? Francisco, when Jay reported last month, he was talking about the mainline widening projects plus the big design build coming up and wanting to follow up and chat with you and plug in with your group for some of the various connections or communications activities. Have some of those conversations been initiated or is it still too early in those projects? I just made a note.
Not sure about the widening. ADOT is reconfiguring their fibers so they would let us have a fiber to all of their traffic signals so we can talk to them. But outside of that, I'm not aware of anything else.
Okay. Yeah, just something Jay had mentioned that I wrote down that I kind of caught my eye. Richard, I know you're standing in on behalf of Jay on this. Are you familiar with any of this, or would it be better to save it for when Jay gets back?
Probably better to save her for when he gets back. I mean, I'm a little bit familiar with the gist of it, but I don't know any details though.
That's okay then. I'll just keep that on my hot list and save it for a future meeting then. Perfect, and thank you. All righty. Well, gang, this is going to be an all-time record for short and sweet. If there's nothing else, no new attendees. Any questions from anybody on the various topics we've covered now that you had a chance to settle in? Did we miss anything? Any of the agenda topics we want to go back on? Or any follow-up questions now you've had a chance to think about it? And seeing none, one last thing, Francisco, before I announce it, are you still looking good for doing a May presentation like you and I have been talking offline?
Yes.
Okay. To let all of you know, then I reached out on some comments that Francisco made last time about their efforts in the adaptive signal system and some articles he forwarded on to me. And I remember several years ago, this group did a deep dive, and adaptive signal technology was one of the things we looked at. I think Dion had headed that effort up. So I thought it would be especially prevalent and relevant for Francisco to come back, give us an overview presentation, kind of fill us in on everything, on where they've been going, what they've been doing, how they've incorporated. Well, I thought that would be fairly interesting for this group. So we're targeting the May meeting for that one. If you're interested in that, that's going to be primarily the kickoff item. Then we'll get into the normal activities from there. But go ahead and pencil that in. If that's something you're interested in, we are going to try to have a presentation, discussion, and overview from Francisco and his team on that. So Francisco, thanks a million for doing that. I think that's going to be pretty fascinating. At least I know I'll be captivated, and I'm hoping others are as well. So
No problem.
got it. Well, gang, if there's nothing else, it's good seeing you. I'm glad this was short and sweet and you get such a big chunk of your morning back, but I'm going to go ahead and call it at 9:22. As always, if there's anything else during the work week or during the regular time in between meetings you need, reach out to each other. Otherwise, we'll plan on getting together in May. And like I said, that'll be the focal point, is going to be that presentation on the system the city's using. So with that, gang, be good, be well, take care, and we'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Thank you. Same back to you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
So